Hello there, and welcome back to Why Is Love So Hard, this segment where I take some of your stories and rewrite them as fairy tales. Today's fairy tale is going to be different from the ones I've written before. I was approached by an old colleague of mine who is a neuroarchitect, and she basically works with spaces, designing spaces to help people with their psychological problems, their traumas. And she thought it would be a good idea for me to write one of her success stories with one of her clients as a fairy tale. The title of this fairy tale is Tony and His Room. In Beirut of 1966, a baby boy was born into a loving family of four: his mother, his father, his sister, the eldest, and his brother. His family saw him as a blessing, especially that he was born 15 years after his brother. They doted on him and granted his every desire. Truly, no royal could have had a better childhood. Then, in 1975, the war struck and tore Beirut into pieces. Tony was 11 years old when the war started, and it went on and off for 15 years. The war made a prisoner of Tony, a prisoner in his own room. His parents would not let him go out to play, fearing for his safety. His window that looked onto a main street became a post from which he saw the comings and goings of militias and the army, watching while hiding behind the curtain so that no sniper would spot him. The only entertainment he had was his radio and his collection of music tapes and a few board games. Whenever the television set was on in the family room, it was set to the news. It was bad when the snipers were at each other's throats and the sound of guns became background noise that lulled Tony to sleep. It was even worse when the bombs were raining down. Then the family had to go down the stairs to the basement to shelter there. As the years went by, watching movies on TV became painful because they reminded Tony of the life he did not have. He did not have the chance to go roller skating or biking or hiking or swimming. He did not have a girl to love. The school friends he had, he barely saw. He even became envious of his brother and sister, who had had a peaceful youth and who were settled and married and had lives of their own. It felt as if the world were progressing and moving forward while he was stuck in his room. The war finally ended when he was 26 years old, and he decided to make up for his stolen teenage years and his stolen youth. And for the next 25 years of his life, he did just that. Whenever he was not working, he was partying or partaking of outdoor activities. He bought a sports car, a leather jacket. He learned how to ride a motorcycle and bought himself a Harley. He joined a motorcycle club and would go for long rides with her motorcycle buddies on Sundays. His hair was always slicked back with gel, and he dated one woman after the other, unable to commit to any of them. By the time he turned 50, he was known as the boy who never grew up. At this stage of his life, Tony started wondering where it had all gone wrong. He was supposed to be settled and married with kids by now, but that had always eluded him. He wanted the life that his siblings had, but he couldn't get it. As he was brooding on these thoughts one day in his apartment bedroom, he saw a huge ball of light coming in on a ray of sunshine, and it grew bigger and bigger until it stopped at the foot of his bed. He did not move. He could only stare at it wide-eyed, heart pounding in his ears. Suddenly, this ball of light burst into a million stars, and what appeared like a fairy godmother with the long poofy dress, the tiara, and the wand, literally the whole works, was standing there in front of him. Well, hello, Tony. I am Maria. Don't be afraid. I am only here to help make your wishes come true. And before Tony could say a word, she waved her wand and put Tony to sleep. Now, she says, let's get to work. She looked around her and tutted. The room was too dark. Dark mahogany, dark paintings on white walls. It was too cluttered, too much furniture and too many things thrown around. She went over to Tony and touched his forehead. She was looking for his memories of his teenage bedroom at his parents' house. She saw a room with white walls and posters of singers hanging on them. She saw he had a green bedspread and that the wood on his bed and closet had a reddish hue. She saw the lampside table and the lamp that he kept switched on even as he slept. And she saw his favorite contraption, an old radio. Maria wanted to recreate his bedroom space in a way that would combine elements from his old room with modern elements. She believed that that would make him reconnect with his youth without the element of fear, and therefore reconnect with his youth while feeling safe, and at the same time allowing him to feel that he is progressing with the new elements in the same space. Most importantly, Maria wanted him to grieve the loss of his youth, something he has not yet done, and hence reconciliate his emotions in connection with that period of his life. I promise, she said, that I will recreate a space for you that will make you love your childhood home again and make you remember that phase of your life without trauma, as a phase that happened, but that you can now grieve and move forward from. After a wave of her wand, she was standing in an empty room with only the mattress that Tony was sleeping on still there. Another wand wave, and the walls were covered with light green wallpaper, patterned with leaves and small flowers, and a curtain with a similar motif. It had the feel of a treehouse bedroom. Another wand wave, and a bed, a dresser, and a wardrobe closet in reddish-brown hues appeared. Yet another wand wave and a few abstract photos in black and white appeared on the walls, mimicking portraits of singers. A green quilt for the bed, and an old radio and lamp on the bedside table were next. A final wand wave put his music tapes and a few paraphernalia on his dresser. Smiling to herself with satisfaction, Maria waved her wand one last time and transported Tony to his new bed, and the old mattress disappeared. She went over to Tony and touched his heart and said, "You are allowed to express your emotions and your grief. You do not need to keep your emotions bottled up anymore. You will heal and you will live your best life." And with that, she disappeared. Tony woke up to find himself in his newly decorated room, and he was not sure if he had dreamt the whole thing at first. He could never explain what had happened that day, but within 6 months he felt as though a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. A year later, he started dressing differently and behaving differently. People saw the change in him and could not understand it. He was finally able to let go of his trauma and to embrace his age. Eventually, he met the love of his life and they got married and had a child. His wishes had indeed come true, and he was a happier man for it. The end. I hope you enjoyed this. I've tagged Maria Al-Hello in this video, and you can follow her or check her posts and check her profile. Don't forget to like, share, follow. Don't forget to send me your stories so I can keep on writing these beautiful fairy tales for you.